pandemic after the friends here in the panel, because they were more friendly and close. So I'm the lonely one here, not so close like that. But I'll try to make it friendly for you, at least, and tell about our business and our business field, and give you some small details about our business and correlation with the finance sector. So let me a little bit introduce myself so that you know who is talking to you about what. I am coming from the industry. So my company. So I am coming from the industry. I myself is a part of an industry group. It's a family business. I am the second generation, which is doing plastic, Sam Plastic. We have another company, Sam Global Foreign Trade, which is a trading company for our products, plastic products. We have a polymer distribution company, which is on the chemical side and petrochemical side of the business. I'm also very active I try to be active in the plastic associations and foundations in Turkey and also in Europe. And let me put a little bit about our company. We are a rather old company compared to Turkish companies' lifetimes. In 1977, we have been founded. Now our headquarters in Silivri, Istanbul, and we have another factory in southeast of Turkey. And we produce plastic disposable food service items and rigid food packaging. So, as I said, it's a family company. You see my father, and the chair is me. So it's a real family company. I still keep this chair. So, what we are doing, my company is doing plastic disposables and food packaging items, and we serve travel catering. When you fly with a lot of airlines, Emirates, Singapore Airlines, Qatar Airlines, you see these plastic cups and plastic things. When you come to Turkey with Turkish Airlines, you will see my company logo in these products. This is one of our business. We do fast food chains. We are suppliers of McDonald's, Burger King here, and also in the region, in the Middle East. We do food packaging. We do ice cream cups and this kind of things for big food producers, brands. We work with the retailers. So just to end our advertisement, we have been doing a lot of innovations and a lot of things like bioplastic. We were the first one to use it in Turkey. We export to a lot of countries. But this presentation was in 80, but now it's 85 countries. We have been awarded by one of the fastest growing companies in the region. So now I'm going to tell you about the chemical business with my knowledge in the associations and also in the business as a real people from the industry. So now when we are talking about the chemicals, we should know that the chemical business is an important part of the field of the business because it is related with a lot of industries when you're talking about chemistry. It's also, when you look at a country's chemical production and usage, you can see the standard of living. So when we talk of chemicals, we talk about pharmaceuticals, we talk about cosmetics, we talk about plastics. So we talk about a lot of things that affects our lives. And also, when we are looking about the finance case, we can say that I think this is more important for you. It's the second biggest exporting sector of Turkey. So it is one of the biggest important fields of finance also. I'm not going to go so deep because I have 25 minutes to talk about. So, but just to give you a small idea of where the chemicals come from and where it's going, is that because when this country was emperor times, it was just small companies doing this kind of things in the 20th century, beginning of that, at the beginning of it. Then the foundation of Turkish Republic in the 1950s, we started producing some explosives, medicine, because of the war times, you have to do this kind of things. We didn't make war. Agricultural chemicals, detergents, printing, and textile dyes. In 1960 and 1980, it was an economic policies were based on import substitution. This was the main strategy of the Turkish government, to substitute the products that were imported. But simple products means But after that, after 1980s, it was the time of President Turgut Özal, which transformed the country to a more, let's say, exported and globally integrated country. So the chemical business grew fastly after that. So now what is the situation? Today, Turkish chemical industry is the second biggest exporting industry of Turkey, with modern technology, diversified products, and giving key components to also other industries that is exporting in Turkey. So when we are talking about chemicals, what we are talking about? To give a little bit more detail about the diversified product range. What is that? That is raw materials we are doing, petrochemicals, it's under the chemicals, chromates, soda ash, which we produce in Turkey a lot, soda ash, salts, borax, commodities, fertilizers. We are also having extra capacity that we can export in fertilizers, pesticides, veterinary products, consumer products, soups, which we are a good exporter, detergents, household products, personal care, paints, varnishes, glues, pharmaceuticals, auxiliary and intermediate products, which are textile, curing products, leather, construction chemicals, a lot of things. It's a big umbrella of products. So just to give you some numbers, which you like, I think, as we can see that there is about 13,000 companies. So 13,000 companies means that they are mainly SMEs. So that's why it's a so big number. 13,000 companies, I think most of it, about 90% SMEs doing the business. Production capacity is 180 million tons. And turnover is $123 billion. And there is an added value of $50 billion of this industry. This industry, because of the SMEs, employs 765,000 workers, employees. And if you look at the GDP of Turkey, it's about 6% is this chemical products, which is the part that it consumes in the total GDP. Total export, 30 billion. Total import, 65 billion. But this is mainly to the mineral oils, which we are talking about oil, that we import mainly. It's not just because of the main production, but about feedstock mainly. So the chemical exports versus manufacturing industry, 25%. Chemical imports versus manufacturing industry, imports, 47%. So when we go more deep inside the figures, we will see that about there's 50 billion added value, which is important, of this 123 billion production in 2010. This is estimate, and this is the industry is running at 70-75% capacity. Now it's more. They're running at higher capacities. I'm not going to talk too much into numbers because I want to come to a point where, because you can share this also, these numbers from the presentation. As I said, most of it is SME companies in this business, and the production is 180 million. There is 2,600 types of chemicals that is in this business. Yeah. And when we look at the workforce employed in this chemical business, 6% of the people are high-level educated engineers. So we employ also a good number of engineers. It means that it's open to innovation. There is the human resource for this. Yeah. So we can say that the chemical industry is an import-dependent sector in Turkey because we don't have the feedstock. We don't have the oil. In some businesses, we have the feedstock. For example, if we are talking about soda ash, we have. But mainly for the other chemicals, for the oil, because Turkey doesn't have a real potential of oil extraction at the moment, we mainly import the feedstock. It means that there is a lot of import business, import finance business for the chemical industry. And one of the other things, because of this, is 70% of this one, this import is mainly feedstock. And even in plastics, which I am mainly doing in my business, 85, now it's about 86% even, is the imported petrochemicals. We don't have petrochemical production enough to feed the domestic production. So there is big import finance in this business, apart from the exporting. So how can we put Turkish chemical business in the world? Where does it stand if we look at the world? We can see geographic breakdown of the world chemical sales. And when you look at it, you will see that Turkey is about 90 billion. It doesn't write, it says only 4.9, but I know that it is 90 billion, I can tell you. So it's just about 4.9 of the world's total chemical sales, the Turkish chemical business sales. If you look at EU27, you can see there's big potential. I'll just go more detail on this potential that Turkey has in the chemical business. So this is what it is about. When you look at the chemical sector, the EU27, you will see that if you look at most of the 14th up EU27, the average per capita chemical sales value is 1,750 euros, whereas in Turkey, the same value stands at only I think Turkey is about 195. So there's a huge gap. And we said that, don't forget that we said that chemical usage is also a sign of the life quality. So we still have potential of consuming, we still have potential of the chemical business to increase. And I'll come to this point because there's also one important issue about the government strategy also about the chemical industry, which is going to influence the business a lot. And exports, if you look at the exports of Turkey, it's interesting, before EU was the main one. We were exporting most of the goods to EU, but it changed because of the current situation in EU. And what happened is that Turkey tried to compensate this market with the new markets in all fields, including the chemicals. The chemicals were successful. As in mainly most of the other businesses, Iraq take most of the share. And when you look at, for example, the export share, now even in 2010, you can see that Iraq is #1, bypassing Germany. Now in 2011, it continues, still getting more in 2012. So Turkey is trying to get more markets in the near markets like Iraq, like Africa, trying to sell its products, export its products to new markets. And this means for your business insurance, by the way, because we are talking about countries which are more risky than the standard countries. By the way, what does it mean risky? It can be always, relative. Because now the EU situation in some countries is also risky. So when we look at again, So when we look at the exported chemicals, what are the exported chemicals? We will see that for sure, fuels we have. So we don't look at it too much. Mineral fuels is the feedstock of exported oils. When you look at more, then you will see that plastics is the biggest part of the chemical business, exported chemical business. Plastics and rubber is the biggest share on the exports of the chemical business exports. Exported chemicals, so there's a detail of which one, which level. I'm not going to go into details on this one. The countries I told, and product groups. Again, imports. When you look at the imports, because of the mineral oil, as we are not rich of that, there's big importation of the mineral oils. But apart from that, there is also imported chemicals. Because some fine chemicals we don't produce here. This is also one of the main targets of Turkey. Use more fine chemicals, specialty chemicals, which has more added value than what we are doing at the moment. So you have a breakdown of different imported chemicals. Now, I'll go more detailed to the biggest part. So petrochemicals, as I said, plastics is the biggest part of the chemicals industry, the export and the biggest share. So when you look at it in the world, the petrochemicals business from 1998 to 2008, you will see that there's a huge difference because petrochemical business, base chemicals and different ones, there's an increase on that one from 1.2 trillion to 2.8 trillion. And now, more detail on the Turkish plastic industry is that we can see that the number of companies here is 6,000. So we were talking about 13,000 companies in the chemical business. About half of it is in the plastic business. And 98% of these companies are SMEs. So we are again talking about SME companies. And the production is 6.7 million tons. Now it's about 7 million tons around. And and the value is $20 billion. The added value is $8 billion, and annual growth rate is between 10 to 15%, and it's steadily growing. There is 250,000 people employed in this business, and this is important. Foreign dependency in raw materials is 86%. So there is lack of petrochemicals. So Turkey has to import and has to finance its export by importing the goods. So you can see that the plastic conversion industry is increasing, going to 7 million tons by far in a fast, rapid way. Now Turkey is the third biggest European converter of plastics. That's important, I think, because most probably that maybe we are number 2 now, because I think 1 month ago I was speaking with the Plastics Association of Italy. They decreased about 20%. They shrink 20% this year. Turkey increased 11%. So most probably we are somewhere we are going away. I mean, this year or next year we will bypass Italy and will be the second biggest plastic converter in Europe. That's an important thing. So we are a big conversion industry without the raw material. So this is a big problem also for the plastic industry. When you look at, as I said, chemicals, all these are related with the other industries. Plastic industry is related with a lot of industries. So plastic industry gives the packaging for exported goods, for the manufactured goods, for the construction, for the electronics farm, for the beer, for the clothes, automotive and others. So I'll just go a little bit more faster to say it. Still, you can see export, Turkey's shift from different countries to other ones, and still Iraq is also in this one, number 1. So it's a good partner of Turkey in other things, also in the plastics. Now we come to the point. As I said, there's a problem about petrochemicals, about Turkey's feedstock on the chemicals. And the government, because is mainly concerned about the current account deficit, is trying to stop this by putting trade barriers, increasing deferred payment taxes, putting special import taxes, or protecting some goods with some extra protection. What he tries to do is to increase, first, in the short term, to decrease the foreign trade deficit, the current account deficit, plus to push people to invest in Turkey, to make it profitable for them to make production in Turkey of petrochemicals and chemicals. So now this is the current situation where we have the refineries, petrochemical plants in Turkey. The main one is the ex-government one, now is privatized. It's sold to Sokar, Azerbaijani group. And we have other ones. Artensa is the international one. Basic, a Turkish one. Basic Petrochemicals, Tüpraş is local, you know. So, and now there's some new one. This is because 1 year ago, because of these government policies, we have now a big PET company also in Gaziantep started production. We have another one ongoing in Istanbul, near Tekirdağ. Sorry, it's just Indian gentlemen are doing this investment over there. So Turkey is also trying to close this deficit of petrochemical production. So, and this also means that for the importers and for the exporters, an extra deficit through this process. So we're going to bear more taxes, deferred payments is more harder, deferred payment taxes is increased, KKDF. So this means that also for the financing, there's a lot of effects of this one. We have to think of it. And Turkey is still investing on, the investment is still going. I can tell you that the investment environment this year is good. This is my thought because I can easily see, you can see from your finance industry that each day the interest rates are going down. So if you wait one more day, you will have a lower interest rate. So for us, this is the time for us. Last year it was mainly the market for the sellers of the finance. This year is mainly for the buyer's market. So it seems that the Turkish market seems to be a good market for the finance to come. Our banks are too liquid and they want to give this required money to industry. So investments are going and it is increasing going on this chemical industry. Turkey has a lot of advantages, so these advantages are important when we are talking about the projection of the chemical industry. For example, we have to mention it, the EU custom union, the EU because this is important for Turkish chemical industry while it's exporting, and also not only about the regulations and the possibility to sell to Europe, but also about the regulations. For example, REACH. REACH is an important issue for the Turkish chemical industry because Turkey, it's not an EU member, it's already in the EU custom union. Because it's not, it is expected as a third country in this REACH regulation. So third country means that you have to bear some extra costs apart from the European companies. So this is something negative, but anyway, Turkish companies are well aware about the safe production, about good terms of production, and special certifications. By the way, there's a lot of change in the industry after the crisis. A lot of countries, not only Turkey, is trying to put more trade barriers. This is going to affect our business, and especially on the petrochemical side of the business. I'm going to also pass this one because I can see that my time is small. You can see from this presentation, I have compared with the Middle East and Turkey, the chemical industry, the feedstock, which countries and Turkey's position. But we will go from there. So, some small points. I just wanted to mention. So, I think that if you look at the Turkish industry, chemicals, the main problem is that we are producing still low-end products. Still, they are not well, let's say, well sophisticated enough. Because if you look at the per kilo price of Turkey and per kilo price export of Germany, you can see the difference. So we have to change this. This is what we have to do. This 6% of engineers, which I mentioned, are important for Turkey. Innovation, R&D is very important because this way we can only win. You can see the effect of the low-end products where this is important for the financing because when we are importing chemicals, you can easily see that the Turkish companies mainly pay cash for this importation. And when they are selling, exporting their products, they sell in deferred payment terms. So this easily shows you it's not because that we don't have the chance to do it. It is because of our product. Because the product basket that we have is a basket that there is possibility for a lot of competition. So that's why we have to give deferred payment to our customers that they choose us. But when we are buying the materials, we buy the materials that we cannot do. That's why we are paying cash. So we have to change this. So we have to change the low-end products. The product basket has to change. This is one important point. And another thing is we need structural reforms for this. We need to make more R&D, we need to make innovation, design, and of course entrepreneurship is important in the chemicals business for better product. We have to diversify our product, services, and markets. This means we need more insurance, better insurance. Insurance part of the business will be more important. Sustainability is an important issue because we are growing. That's a good situation. We are continuously growing for the last years, but this has to be sustainable. We are not interested in 10% growth for years and years, for 3 years, but we are interested in growing sustainably for a long time. This will make Turkey a good country for its people. So we have to work on this. We have some problems about the free trade zones in the chemical business. When you're talking about chemicals trading, the traders know that there is some regulation in Turkey that if you are selling a good, if you are importing a good from somewhere, if you have an office in the free trade zone, you have to take the good physically inside this free trade zone. This is a big problem for the chemical industry because the chemical industry, when you are trading on it, it works on small margins. So when you have to put, for example, if you have a free trade zone in Istanbul, if you put a chemical inside and try to send it to Mersin, then you will lose it because you would like to send it directly to Mersin because you only earn about $30 if you're working on trade business. So this is what we have to solve. And import deferred payment terms, taxes, this kind of things, as I said, this is related to the current accounts deficit situation, which has to be, in a way that we have to deal at this moment. But I can tell you at the end, the general strategy, as I said in the first, I promised you that is going to affect our business. We can see that Turkey is changing the export goods, export sectors. Before we know that it was mainly textiles that we had, more labor-intensive work. But now, you can see that we are changing our export basket in a correlation with Germany. what are the third biggest export market sectors of Germany? The first one is automotive, chemistry, and machinery. So now if you look at Turkey, my friends in Turkey well know that these three things, chemicals, before it was number 4, now we are number 2. We have automotive exports, now also machinery is trying to pick up. So it means that these businesses, chemicals, will be much more important, because this is also the scope of the government strategy, main strategy for the incentives. So I'd like to thank you very much. My time is gone. Thank you very much for your patience listening to me at this time. I hope that it was useful. Thank you.
Are there any questions for everybody? Are there any questions? I want to say, after having listened all morning to how dynamic the Turkish economy is, I mean, for me, this is just very, very clear. This is where all that finance subject that we heard about all morning, this is the reality of what that really means. So I very much enjoyed that. I'd like to thank you very much. A very good presentation. Okay, we now have,
Very good. Thank you very much. And I'd like to recommend that this is the real industry.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, we are on break now. Please be back promptly at